At this time of Zayin Adar, communities around the world recognize the work of the Chevra Kadisha. It is the time of Zayin Adar when Hashem himself gave prominence to this mitzvah by taking care of the kvura, of the burial of Moshe Rabbeinu. It's the last act in the Torah, and by Hashem giving it that prominence, we dedicate that day as the day that the Chevra Kadisha celebrates. Moshe Rabbeinu was also born on Zayin Adar. He died on Zayin Adar. We know he was buried on Zayin Adar, but he also was born on Zayin Adar. And Moshe Rabbeinu himself gave prominence to this mitzvah, as the Torah tells us that when the Jews left Mitzrayim, Moshe Rabbeinu was involved himself in carrying the Aron of Yosef, taking the bones of Yosef, of Joseph, out of Mitzrayim. And the Gemara tells us that this was not just another mitzvah, but the Gemara tells us that Vayikach Moshe es Atzmos Yosef corresponds to a pasuk, a passage in Mishlei in Proverbs that says, Chacham Lev, one who is wise of heart, Yikach mitzvahs, takes mitzvahs. Moshe Rabbeinu chose the mitzvah that he was going to perform, while everyone else in Klal Yisrael was also involved in mitzvahs. All the Jews were involved in a specific mitzvah. They were commanded to take the riches and the wealth of Mitzrayim that had been spit out by the Red Sea, by the Yam Suf, as they were required to, because Hashem had promised Avram that the Jews would leave Mitzrayim with great wealth. So that too was a mitzvah. But Moshe Rabbeinu chose the mitzvah of taking care of the Aron of Yosef, because that was special, that was unique. And so we in the Chevra Kadisha and all the communities of the world recognize the importance of the Chevra Kadisha on that day, on the day of Zayin Adar, which is the day of the birthday and the yahrzeit of Moshe Rabbeinu. As far as members of the Chevra Kadisha are concerned, Zayin Adar is a day of introspection. It's a day of appreciating the tremendous zechus, the tremendous privilege that we have to be involved in this mitzvah, as well as the great responsibility that carries with it. There's a Gemara in Moed Katan, a well-known Gemara that tells us a story. And this story has a message not just for the community, but a message for the members of the Chevra Kadisha as well. Gemara tells us that Rav Hamnuna was an Amora, was in Eretz Yisrael, and he heard the sound of that was announced. Someone had passed away. There was a certain sound of the shofar that was blown, and he observed that people continued to work. They just kept about their business. And he asked the question, we know there's a halacha, meis ba'ir. Someone dies in the city. Kol b'nei ha'ir, all the people in the city, asurin b'asiyas malacha, are prohibited from doing any work. Even if they're working for someone else, they must stop and make sure that this person is taken care of. It's a responsibility of the entire community. And so, by observing these people continuing with their work, he said, Shamtinu, put them into cherem, excommunicate them. They are obviously transgressing a mitzvah, a requirement, a chiyuv, a requirement publicly. And he was told there's no problem. They can continue with their work. Why? There is a Chevra Kadisha in the city. And if there's a Chevra Kadisha in the city, they will take care of the mace that died. They can continue with their work. So the communities around the world recognize that not only does the Chevra Kadisha take the responsibility of taking care of those who died, but they also provide the entire community with the ability to continue on with their life every time that mitzvah comes up. They take the responsibility off their shoulders. But there's another message here as well. I ask everyone in the Chevra Kadisha world today to think about the following. There are so many Jews in our communities. There is an estimate that 40% of the Jews in the United States of America right now are being cremated. And so many others who are being buried without tahara, shalok halacha, in so many different ways. Are these people who have no Chevra Kadisha, they don't know there's a Chevra Kadisha, or are going to someone who is not a Chevra Kadisha to take care of their needs at this time? Who is responsible to take care of them? Perhaps we can say that the entire community is responsible to take care of them, and I believe the entire community is. But certainly we, as members of the Chevra Kadisha, have perhaps a greater responsibility to see that we, as the Chabura Be'ir, see to it or try to extend ourselves to see that every Jew receives, first of all, Kfura Ka'alocha and Kavod HaMeis by being buried with the proper kavod. As the director of the National Association of Chevra Kadisha, I reach out to you to join us as really a national association of Chevra Kadisha, to look to us, to work more closely with us, to learn of the programs that we have, the things that we can offer your Chevra Kadisha and your community, to make Kfura Ka'alocha and Kavod HaMeis something that is more prevalent and that is stronger and that is on a higher level perhaps within your community, within your Chevra Kadisha. There are many things that we can offer. There are many things that we can do together. We look forward to working with you together. Reach out to us. Give us an opportunity to communicate with you. And together we will be zoche to fulfill the obligation and continue the privilege of serving Klal Yisrael with this beautiful mitzvah that we call Chesed Shalemus until the time where we are promised, hopefully B'karov, the Mashiach will come, Umocha Hashem L'kim Dimo Mi'al Kol Panim, and we will not have to do the work of the Chevra Kadisha any longer. Thank you.